They got no hopes and dreams, but I like all they pics and all that slutty. They wouldn't got the nerve to wonder why my girl at home is insecure. Maybe it's me, on second thought just can't be. This ain't my problem. Got this with me that models and she swallows goodly Gothams. Look at Batman. What by Catwoman, that flat stomach, that on it. I'm astonished, I had to double back on it, goddamn.
Taking in this morning.
I don't know why my comments ain't working, but basically they're doing a radio interview
taking in this morning
with me on 90.1. It was pre-recorded, but they're airing it tonight.
Gotta get my mind right to make it through the day. Letting go of old habits, adopting a newer way. I give up, that's something that losers say. My problem, I got no juice, that's something that Qers say. Stop intoxicating your body, them pills I threw away. You should exercise instead of always smoking 2 a day.
The volume up on me.
Maybe I'm just overdue to pray. Now I'm in the sky with clouds, grew my wings and flew away.
Yeah.
Taking in this morning view when you come for nothing. You don't got too much to lose.
I can't believe it's been
Running
playing
in the
this whole
wrong
time and it was
direction.
on
I
mute.
forgot to tie my shoes. My resume is impeccable. No need for interviews. I'm just taking in this morning view. Taking in this morning view.
There go that.
All right, glad you're still tuned in. For those of you just now tuning in, we have Zips here with us, graciously granting WIUP-FM a chance to get to know him. We got to talk about the general stuff just now, but I wanted to ask about some things regarding your life at the beginning of making music. Yep. What was your foundation growing up, if you feel like speaking about it, of course?
Sure. I came from a family that was all music oriented. My mother played the piano. My father was a trumpet player in the band. And then that kind of influenced my sister, my older sister, to join the band. And she became a flautist as well as a bass player, a drum major, later became a music teacher herself. So I was always surrounded by music. So I almost felt like I had to find what made sense for me, though, because in the midst of it, you know, you want to follow in the footsteps of your parents or your siblings, but I had to find my own voice. And in the midst of me, you know, taking piano classes in middle school and joining the band and kind of following the footsteps, I kind of veered in a different direction because hip hop started to really just have an impact on me. And then that led to just me wanting to, you know, write poetry or write raps and, you know, then get in the studio and finding producers that I was working with at the time and understanding the craft of doing that. So, yeah, I would say just, you know, my family really played an influence in just kind of music being, you know, amongst everything that I was doing.
No, for sure. It's like almost in your DNA, it seems like, being surrounded by all that. Dropping music, when you first started dropping your own stuff, was there a lot of support or was there doubt or what was that process like?
I think everybody's always just like, okay, so you're doing the music thing, huh? You know what I mean? Like, there's always the shadow of doubt, if you will. But I think slowly but surely, as people saw how passionate I was about it, you know, I started to get embraced. Like even in high school, I put on a benefit concert where I was able to raise like a couple $1,000s for the Miami Children's Hospital, which was cool because, you know, when you're kind of doing it in a fashion that's beyond yourself, I think people start to take a look and say, okay, I could get behind this, as opposed to just like, oh, this you're making music, like, okay, cool. You know what I mean? So when they started seeing that I was doing it for a good cause,
factual statement,
something beyond myself, I think that's when people started to, you know, slowly get behind me and, you know, show belief in what I was doing versus kind
slowly
of just
get behind me,
pause, if you will.
No, that there's a lot of power to that too. Like it almost positions yourself to, like you said, put yourself out of it and kind of give back to something else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
something beyond yourself.
No, exactly, for sure. The first song you ever recorded, be honest, was it trash?
Yeah. What's funny is I'm probably showing my age, but it was to Lil Zane's "Calling Me" instrumental. I downloaded it off of Napster, and shout out to piracy. But we could probably edit that out. But Napster. I downloaded I was downloading instrumentals, and I was making my own mixtape songs, if you will.
Shout out to piracy.
And it wasn't the best, but what I will say, there was song structure. Like, I understood, okay, this is the hook, this is the verse. You know what I mean? Like, I was there. I guess from listening to music, I was able to, put a song together as opposed to it just being one long rap verse, if you will.
Yeah, that's definitely a big thing too. That because I know people personally who like started out in music, and you could tell that they don't understand that, and that's what makes a song go from good to great. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's definitely a separation. I think that's why I like a lot of freestyle rappers or just battle rappers. It's tough for them to transition to making music because for that, like, they're more focused, honed in on the writing as opposed to like how the flow of something. Because a song is like there's so much. I think there's a lot of thought that goes into it, but there's also like a certain structure or cadence or sequence that has to go about the right way in order for it to connect to the listener.
No, for sure.
I think like what you were talking about earlier, like when did music stop being a hobby and become something that I wanted to pursue as a career? I feel like I had to really buckle down and make that self-reflect and make that decision and say, okay, hey, this is no longer something that you're just doing for the sake of it being fun. This is something that you want to truly pursue and be successful at. And there was a lot of, 2022 is when I think that dawned on me, because I was seeing, just the ability to utilize social media and get yourself out there, and all the artists who were doing it independently, like almost as like a blueprint. Like, oh, wow, they're doing it, so that means there's a possibility that I could do it. Same way I told you, growing up and seeing Pitbull and Rick Ross have the success that they had, and Little Bow Wow. I think later in life, when I realized, okay, there's no longer a need for being signed to a record label and things of that nature, the traditional way of being successful, I started to see, hey, there's another way. And I think that's the obstacle, just realizing, okay, no longer this is, I'm not just recording songs for the sake of recording. Now, I think it's important that you still have fun, but taking it seriously and saying, hey, I'm going to show up every day and I'm going to hold myself accountable to putting out music, making content, and doing whatever's necessary to achieve what I'm setting out to accomplish.
Type shit.
That's definitely a big point to make there. So I know that we personally spoke before this interview and whatnot about some serious things that you had to deal with that kind of led to this transition in mindset that helped you, get to where you're at. And so as an overall question, I will just ask, what are the sacrifices that some people don't see that you have to go through behind the scenes?
Yeah. Two come to mind that we spoke about, prior to this is, first and foremost, kind of overcoming my substance abuse addiction. I think for myself, I had to really identify that I had an issue and I had a problem, and it was something that needed to be addressed in order for me to truly navigate this thing we call life in a fashion that would allow me to keep going. So yeah, substance abuse was tough, man, because I had to really identify, okay, hey, I need help, go seek and get the help that I needed, and making sure that after I wanted what I was seeking in terms of, fully being clean and, waking up every day and wanting that. Because it's not just like we wake up one day and you're cured. Oh, I'm done. My addiction is cured. I'm good to go. It's like every day you have to want to, be the best version of yourself. And that was something that was a sacrifice that I'm super glad that I am committed to, because I know that older version of myself, and I'm not very fond of that older person. I think the person that I'm walking into every day is a better version of that.
There's a certain dedication and a certain set of skills that you have to have in order to maintain sobriety or even get over an addiction. Would you say that there's any transferable skills that you learn from that, even if it's subconscious or something, that helped you get to where you're at now with music?
Yeah, I think, man, just it's very simple. The fact that I was dedicating my time and effort to, you know, intoxicating my body, the time and effort that I spent doing that got replaced with, oh, I have all this time to do something. What am I going to do with it now? Now that I am no longer focused on that, what I used to do.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
So I think but then saying, okay, you know what? I'm actually going to replace that time and put my effort towards something that's going to benefit me. Yeah, and, you know, that came to understanding how to be a better audio engineer, how to be a better producer, how to write better songs, how to release my music more consistently, study other artists that are seeing success and understand what they're doing, so that way I can, you know, implement their strategies into mine. So yeah, I think just time management, man. That's like when you're so consumed with using your time to do something else, and then you remove that and then have all this other time, man, the sky's the limit at that point. And especially the fact that now you have a clean slate and you're like, oh, I get to decide what I want to do with my time now.
Yeah, having the control over it, for sure. Okay, I see that.
Appreciate you, John.
How would, not to switch it up, but just get into the present now, how would you describe your sound to somebody who hasn't heard of any of your music?
I think it definitely, I think my music is in a category of like chill lifestyle rap, if you will. Cause it's funny, like I think my music still has that essence of, if you were, you know, smoking or something of that nature, you could like catch a vibe that way. But I think it's more of a natural high that you can get from my music where, you know, it has that overall just, for lack of better words, just it has that mystique, if you will. So yeah, I would definitely put in like the chill lifestyle rap, boom bap, golden eras. Is it golden era? Yeah, golden era rap. Yeah, I'm aiming for that. You know what I mean? Because I think growing up, that style of music really resonated with me, and you know the West Side Guns of the world, and the, you know, Griselda, the Alchemist. Those, I think it's slowly but surely like making its way back into, you know, the music. Just the music world in general. So yeah, I would say boom bap, golden era, chill lifestyle rap. Boom.
Appreciate it, Jim.
For sure. I can attest to that for sure. When I heard your music for the first time, I remember getting those vibes from it. And not only that, but I could tell that there was like a mystique to it. There's an aura to it, you know what I mean? Something that carries on with it that like you can't describe. What inspires your lyrics in your songs? Because I know you jump from topic to topic depending on what it is, and you really play into bigger concepts sometimes. But as an overall thing, what inspires you in your lyrics?
It's I think it, you know, for lack of better answer, it's therapy, man. Being able to, you know, step to the microphone and just not like, I never know what I'm gonna say. I'll be honest with you, when I'm like stepping, because I make all my beats and I record myself, so I never really know what the outcome is gonna be. But it's whatever I'm feeling at the moment. So if I'm frustrated, you're gonna hear my frustrations. If I'm in a good mood, you're gonna hear me talk about, you know, good vibes. If I'm in a, you know, something just happened and I'm upset, you might catch a little whiff of that. You know what I mean? So it's just like, I think it's all just the feeling and emotion and being able to, you know, drop that off on the microphone and, you know, leave that there and again have like a clean slate for the next day and not hold all those emotions. Because that's the other thing I think I learned in general is just like holding on and suppressing emotions. Like it's not a healthy thing to do. You know what I mean? You have to some way, somehow talk to somebody. If music's not an outlet, write it down. I think it's very important to just, whatever it is that you're feeling, express it and make sure that it's out in the open as opposed to
these long-winded answers, bro.
Clogging your mental and your thoughts and your mental health,
No, certainly. Absolutely. How would you say you could separate yourself or have been separating yourselves from all the other artists that are coming up right now?
I just want to be authentically myself and unapologetically me. And I think I'm still stepping into that. I think it's not all the way there, but it's getting there. So yeah, just continuing to be myself and not apologizing for it in the process. They say, you ask for forgiveness before you ask for permission. So I don't want to ask permission to anybody to be me. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Yeah.
I feel like with everything you were saying before too, it seems your overall theme and whatnot, your overall goal is just to keep it authentic, to keep it raw, to step to the mic and just
Appreciate it, Jay.
release anything that might be holding you down or anything that might even be making you feel great.
You too, bro. Keep pushing,
Yeah.
bro. I see you out here.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, as a side comment, I really love the way you utilize social media.
Thank
Without
you.
it, I wouldn't have found out about you. So
Yeah.
it definitely, makes an impact. Is there a message you have for any upcoming artists regarding marketing themselves?
Yeah. It's an ever changing world we're in. So just be on alert for what's the new thing to come, what's the new way to, showcase whatever it is that you want to share with the world. Just be on the lookout for whatever it is. What mediums can you utilize to share what makes you unique? And that comes
Thank
from
you,
even the
Consuelo.
most traditional, from emails to it's just communication, man. Make sure you're able to communicate what it is that you do, and scream it to the rooftops. And one of the ways you're able to scream it to the rooftops is utilizing social media and being as consistent as you can be, and try to eliminate perfection in it. Because I'm a perfectionist myself. I think we all are. But just don't worry so much about how it looks or how it sounds, because the reality of it is people will meet you where you are. And eventually, as things elevate and get better, you know what I mean? Everybody's a work in progress. So no one's expecting you. If someone never met you before, they're going to meet you as you introduce yourself. So it's don't get so much caught up in how it looks and how it sounds. Just get out there and make the effort to do it. And I always say, I think one of the main things is keep taking baby steps to get one step closer to what it is that you're trying to do.
That's really good advice. We've done enough talking for a little bit here, so let's set the scene for these next two tracks. What was going on in your life when you made University Blues and or Numbers?
So University Blues is a kind of, again, a homage to Michael Jordan. I think growing up as a kid, I was never really able to purchase a pair of Jordans. And I had just recently was able to purchase, I get in my retro ones, University Blue.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then I kind of played I played a play on words. University Blues was the title of the song. But yeah, Michael Jordan's greatness and the effort and the blood and sweat and tears and practice that he sacrificed, like you were talking about earlier, to be as great as he was. Because I think we all want to be great, and he's a prime example of that. So I want to say that's probably the inspiration behind that song for sure.
And what would you say for Numbers featuring Mark Madison?
Numbers, which is very interesting. Sports. We're talking about the game of life, right?
Right.
Putting numbers on the board, you know what I mean? Making sure, if you got a low score, you need to start putting the numbers on the board, And what's interesting, too, is that Mark Madison is actually a New York native rapper, songwriter. He actually writes with Sony. And he actually also, I think I shared with you that he was a finalist in, not a finalist, but he was one of the winners of the weekly competition BET had for 106 and Park's Freestyle Friday. So I actually met him by live streaming on TikTok. And what I would do is on TikTok, I would be writing songs and things of that nature. And he just always would collaborate with me. So Numbers was just like, hey man, like this year we gonna do better than we did last year.
Oh no,
and that was just kind of like
crash landed here.
And what's funny enough is that was the first song that I was able to see 10,000 streams for last year. Yeah. I think Morning View did over 10,000 streams with Don Trip. But again, like because Don Trip is an established artist, I was just like, okay, cool. That was an accomplishment within itself. But being able to do it with like an unknown artist like Mark Madison and myself, like it was just, it was exciting.
No, for sure. You were able to put up numbers with numbers.
There you go.
The irony behind that, right?
Yeah.
And by the way, for those of you who don't know, 106 & Park.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, that's some real culture right there.
Yeah.
So we're gonna listen to
like,
University Blues by Zips, followed by Numbers featuring Mark Madison.
It's a whole lot of talking, right? We should have cut these. I should have cut my answers a lot shorter.
Went from minimum wage to money for days. Riding the bench to calling the plays. From the bottom I rose, no flowers of praise. Now I'm jumping from the free throw like the logo for Jays. Had to put the BS in my rear view. If I don't hit you back, I'm not trying to be near you. Matter of fact, I don't even want to interact. If it ain't about some money, I'll just act like I can't hear you.
Hello? Call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system.
I'm not available to deal with you, so instead call a plumber. And at the tone, hang up and then delete my number.
Let's go.
When money calls, I always say hello. If it's drama or stress, I don't need it. Hell no. I might swerve in that corner like, I'm just trying to ball like LaMelo. Only green lights, I don't stop for red or yellow. Still making moves like the pedals on a bike. And I got the drive, so I never needed hype. Shining like the diamonds on a bezel in the light. From minimum wage to money for days. Riding the bench to calling the plays. From the bottom I rose, no flowers of praise. Now I'm jumping from the free throw like the logo for Jays.
I appreciate it.
From minimum wage to money for days. In my retro ones, University Blue. Yeah, these right here, fresh straight out the box. Yeah, I can guarantee you can never walk a mile in my shoes. Nah. On this climb for a while, now I'm blessed with these views. Seen them smile in my face, but they pray that I lose. For real. And the money don't sleep, I got deadlines to meet, so I barely hit snooze. I remove any negativity in my circumference. Got it. And I attract love, success, wealth, health, and money in abundance. Went from minimum wage to money for days. Riding the bench to calling the plays. From the bottom I rose, no flowers of praise. Now I'm jumping from the free throw like the logo for Jays. From minimum wage to money for days.
That's such a short song, bro.
Yeah, we putting numbers out here, man. What you thought it was? This ain't a game. I'm getting back to my element. Yeah, my pockets filled with dead presidents. Let me clear the air in the room. Elephant, not a Dumbo, so don't insult my intelligence. Don't do that. Late nights with no sleep. When I speak, I murder beats and leave no evidence. My condolences. I'm that guy and it's evident. Your chick think I'm heaven sent. You looking real irrelevant. We in the store when the door's shut. I quarterback plays when I'm down set hut. They all wanna see me fall, but I won't let up. I'm hot dog telling all my ops catch up. The way I'm pulling Franks out the bank is a blessing. No scam, but I still stay finessing. Still giving thanks to the Lord in confession. I play the score and I'm scoring every possession. All summer putting numbers on the board. Eating good, give thanks to the Lord. Never fumble, I get it and then I score.
It's late nights, help yourself, bro. What the f you thought it was?
Used to be someone that they ignored. Greatness is what we working towards. Now we doing numbers they can't even afford. Check the score, we putting numbers on the board.
Live from the city where the Yankees and the Mets play. It's the one with them words, come get an essay.
Yes.
Ain't no need for revisions to take heed. Please, only thing to reread is what the check say. That's right. The fit cactus, cologne from Estee. Yes. Chick with me look as good as I smell. So ironic, I'm God's favorite, yet I'm giving them hell. I ain't even gotta hurt them, man, they do it themselves. I'm in the Buick, Apple Music, steady playing Adele. That's right. We rolling in the deep, rolling in the dough. Give me what? 5 minutes, I be rolling in some more. Shorty got a red nose from all that rolling in the snow. My God, rubber bands get untangled. Play with the money and get strangled. So don't make me flipping it. It's like Kurt Angle. Straight through the door, you see the numbers on the board. What's up?
All summer putting numbers on the board. Eating good, give thanks to the Lord. Never fumble, I get it and then I score.
Hey, it's late nights, help yourself.
I'm telling my kids.
Used to be someone that they ignored. Greatness is what we working towards. Now we doing numbers they can't even afford. Check the score, we putting numbers on the board.
That song go crazy. Shout out my brother Gio over there listening.
All right, welcome back to your late night canvas with special guest Zips with us. Moving along this overview, timeline, and interview, I wanted to ask about your involvement with the industry before we get to your other song picks.
Sure.
So you've worked with some bigger
Appreciate
names.
it, bro.
What was that experience like, and how did that come about?
So much better too.
Man, after graduating high school, like I was telling you, I got an internship with Cool and Dre, Grammy Award-winning producers out of Miami, Florida. I got to work in their studio for about 4 or 5 years, and there was multiple people that came in for sessions that, man, in my wildest dreams, I would be in the same rooms as. I want to say the first significant person was Queen Latifah. Like, I was literally vacuuming the studio, and she just, casually walks into the studio and says, "Hey, play that song that I worked on last night." And I was just like, "You talking to me?"
You?
And
Are
even
you
furthermore,
talking to
like
me?
as the song is playing, I'm sitting down trying to stay out of the way. You know what I mean? Because that's the biggest thing I would say. Be a fly on the wall.
Young fly,
you know what I
what's
mean?
up,
Like,
bro?
be there, but so much so that no one knows you're there. If you catch what I'm saying. But yeah, I was just sitting out of the way once I kind of finished vacuuming and played the song for her. But as the song is playing, she literally grabs me out of my chair and starts dancing with me. So,
True story.
like,
True story.
super surreal moment. But got to meet, I got to meet so many people. Titty Boy, 2 Chainz, I got to meet him during his transition from,
Let's go.
being an artist under Ludacris
That's what's
to
up, Trey.
becoming the solo artist that he, went and did crazy accolades with. I also was in the I got credits on Fat Joe's album. I think one of the songs that I put on there was Lil Wayne, So Special with John Legend. And the cool thing about that record was that Dre from Cool and Dre was actually putting down the reference hook for John Legend to sing later. And in the final product that's out now, they actually used some of the effects that I put on Dre's vocals, and they almost used Dre's vocals as like a sample in the background. So that's what led to me getting credited on the Lil Wayne's Carter 4. And then also later being able to, get a plaque on my wall because I was associated with that album, which is super cool.
No, that's super cool. That is, and that's Queen Latifah's story, man. You got to hold on to that one. That's special right there.
We'll talk offline about it, but I have a song that I recorded from her that is like very unique, and it was one of those super late nights, that she, caught a vibe, and I'll share that with you offline. But yeah, shout out to her, man. She's super authentic and very humble human being that I think I was able to, like, for that being the first celebrity, if you will, I met. Like, to see how down to earth she was,
It's
I think
a
it
radio
showed me,
station.
okay,
It's a
if
college radio
you
station.
start seeing
in
success
Indiana,
out here, this
Trey.
is like, I think, the
Appreciate that,
example
young
of how
fella.
you're supposed to treat others,
Certainly, and you just walked into my next question there. You're talking about what you've learned. So I was going to ask you, what's the biggest
Scream,
lessons you've
what
learned
up?
from being around some established artists?
You gotta want it, man. You gotta, whatever it is that you're trying to do, you have to truly come from a place that you want what it is that you're seeking to get. And like relentlessly, because, you know, for someone like myself, you know, I think I'm grateful for, you know, the successes that I've had and things of that nature. But I think, you know, there's going to be moments where things are not going your way. And regardless of that, I think you have to continue to be persistent and have faith that things are going to work out in the way that they're supposed to.
That's great advice.
Facts.
That's definitely a good
Damn.
lesson.
Gems.
How important are relationships and networking in the music game?
Extremely. I mean, even like, you know, our connection and rapport that we've built, I think, you know, it speaks volumes. Like just the continuous, like, you know, just embracing of one another plays a big role in just your overall relationships, because, you know, I don't think people just want to work with someone that, you know, is in it for themselves. Like, again, it's beyond what we're doing in this. I think it's meant like this in this world that we're living in. It's meant for connection, and it's meant for us to build each other up. And I feel like if you're not making an effort to do that, you know, people can kind of they can sense your intention, if you will, and a lot of times those are not the people that work with each other, if you will.
No, certainly. I can attest to that for sure. One last question before we get into your song picks here. Is there any dream collaboration that you have?
Ooh, yes. Alchemist. I want to do a collaborative tape with the Alchemist. That would be, yeah, like, and it's going to happen. It's a matter of when, not if. And I think that's so go ahead. Sorry.
You hear that, Alk? He's talking to you. I know he's going to watch this.
Yeah, man.
You never know how the internet works, man.
Let's get it. Let's
Put
get
out
it.
there.
Yeah, man. And that's the other thing I think, you know, in terms of learning, speaking things into existence, it's a real thing, man. Like, and having that confidence and knowing that, you know, things are going to happen for you. So, but yeah, dream collab, Alk. What's up? Let's get it.
So that's a producer collab. Is there any like artists that you would want to collab with? Like,
Ooh,
like
okay, you're throwing me a
MC at the
curveball.
scrap.
well, you got to come up to home plate.
Okay, I see what you did there. Sheesh. Who? Man, you know what? And this is a curveball too. John Bellion. John Bellion, just for the sake of like vocalists and man, watching him, and for those that don't know, John Bellion is a songwriter as well as an artist, but he wrote The Monster for Rihanna and Eminem, and he's done countless other records for Justin Bieber and things of that nature. But I watched a lot of his YouTube content when he was kind of producing and making songs, and it was super inspirational. So yeah, if I could work with an artist per se, John Bellion for sure. And I'm kind of cheating because he's a producer and songwriter. But
I caught on to it, but I think that's valid though. A lot of people I feel like don't know who he is. It's kind of part of his whole brand. Like you said, he's kind of more of a songwriter in like bigger studio sessions where he's kind of putting his work out there. But I've also seen some of his work producing and making his own music. Super inspiring, super talented guy.
And he could rap, he could sing,
All
he
of
could
it.
produce. Like he's literally just like a multifaceted individual, which is again, it's just inspirational to see what he does.
All right, speaking of multifaceted, we got Lil Wayne with So Special featuring John
Appreciate
Legend
that,
coming
Scream.
up.
All right, I'm gonna have to end my stream on YouTube because they're gonna clock